4-2 position or formation, similar to what Finland will probably take up when England play against them in the opening game in the European Championship. So it's going to be a good test for England this evening, see if they can deal with that.
So England would like to continue their great run into those championship matches at the start of next month. England's first game on June the 5th when they play Finland. And this is the last chance, though, for Hope Powell to run the rule over those who will be starting that game and some of those who hope to start that game. And the last chance in a game situation to try out one or two set-piece routines, perhaps. So, interested eyes on this final England warm-up fixture. They go into it on an excellent run through the course of the season. Lost just one game, the very first game they played in front of the Sky Sports cameras back in September against Russia at the Memorial Ground in Bristol. Since then, they've remained unbeaten. Drew with China, lost a game in the Algarve Cup on penalties. But there have been some excellent results in the midst of all of that. We saw the goals from the game against Scotland, but also in their last match, they beat Norway, ranked third in the world, by 1-0. But an early problem for England and Mary Phillip perhaps to have to deal with. Rachel Unit recovers, having made the initial mistake, and England do get the ball away.
Yeah, just an early misjudgment there from Rachel Unit, but that's what you want from a player. If you make the mistake, to get back and right that wrong, and she did that.
Czech side, their early attack. Luchova was pushing forward for them. Here's Handley for England. Westwood's first touch. And now Farrell Williams. Early tackles going in that midfield area. And again. Urban Sova involved for the Czech Republic. First time these two teams have met at full international level. So interesting to see how England managed to cope with opponents about whom they don't know a great deal, and who have an early corner kick, the first corner kick of the game indeed. It's been a bright start by the Czech side, Skazna involved.
You know, the Czech team obviously are overawed by playing England on England's home soil. I'm sure that they were very, very disappointed to miss out on qualifying, and this is a big scalp if they can take it.
Jo Fletcher waits on her line and just palms the ball somewhat tentatively, and it goes behind for another corner kick. Jo Fletcher, one of those perhaps who will be very much looking to impress again tonight. Player of the game against Norway. Rachel Brown waits in the wings, Leanne Hall waits in the wings, but Jo Fletcher is the one who has the chance in these early stages to really make that #1 shirt her own for the European Championships, potentially with a good performance. But more pressure on her penalty area in these opening stages. Skazna with a corner, easily cleared. Potential for an England break, perhaps. Yankee tries to get away from Hofakova, doesn't quite manage it. Hailover with a throw down the line. Faye White commanding as ever in a defensive position, tallest player on the pitch. And here's Katie Chapman, missed the game against Norway with the broken hand that she sustained in that game that we saw against Scotland. Had to go off, missed the cup final indeed as well because of that injury, but fully fit, and although there is a little bit of strapping on her hand, will be available to Hope Powell for the European Championship matches.
I think actually the fact that she missed that game was the big opportunity for Anita Asante. She stepped in that match and did a brilliant job, playing a similar role as she had for Arsenal in the UEFA Cup semi-finals against Jürgen Alvso. And that proved to hope that she could play against the best teams in the world and hold her own.
So there is real competition for places developing in this 20-player England squad. The number cut from the 30 that were called up for the previous games. Sue Smith, we heard from before the game, offering her best wishes to those remaining, but as she said, bitterly disappointed to be one of those who missed the cut, as it were. Some of the well-known names who didn't make it as well. Leanne Champ wasn't there, no Ellen Maggs, no Rachel MacArthur. So experienced players won't be involved in the tournament this summer. That's given the opportunity to younger players to come through. Milova. Straight to Farrell Williams. Yankee tackled hard from behind. Still involved in something of a tussle and has a quick look towards the referee. Nothing given other than a throw-in favour of England. International Player of the Year in England. And now she does have a free kick. Crowd generating a good atmosphere in these early stages. Another enthusiastic support. Over the head of Barr. Headed away by Urban Sova. Now Yankee to Scott. Smoralova, the Czech captain, won possession back in the midfield. And Skazna. Wide to Lucia Martinkova, and then infield to Urban Sova. Plays her football for Bayern Munich. And then one over the top for Rachel Unit to deal with. It was an area that did give the Norwegians some joy in the game at Barnsley, putting pressure on Rachel Unit with a nippy wide player. I wonder if it will be maybe something that the Czech Republic will also seek to exploit this evening. Long ball from Faye White. Amanda Barr in pursuit. Should find its way back to Pintsova. Experienced goalkeeper. Her clearance straight to Yankee. Yankee can't control. Quite a pace to the game in these early minutes. It's been a long season for both sets of players. The Czech players looking forward to a break. The England players have a lot more work to do, of course.
It's a little bit better from England now, trying to keep a hold of the ball. The midfield's been good, they've been harrying, they've got a decent shape, but the Czechs have been better at keeping possession so far. Now that England have got the ball in the first sort of 5-10 minutes now, they need to settle it down and impose themselves on the match.
Farrell Williams, still Farrell Williams. Looking for the run of Yankee. But back in to win the ball back for England. Now Unit. Puts the ball over, wins the corner kick. England's first corner. Good start to the game.
Yeah, as you said, it's very high tempo, isn't it? And that's the first sign that we got there of England holding on the ball, making 4 or 5 passes. Then Farrell Williams trying that nice little ball through to Yankee. Great run. Unfortunately into Amanda Barr's space. There are already defenders there, but as soon as Rachel Unit got that ball on the wing, she was looking to cross it in. And now they've got a corner, and they've got a good track record from set pieces, and I'm sure they've been working on them a lot over the last week or so.
Players have been together for the last 9 days. Will it pay off here with Faye White's header? Almost.
And that's a real bonus that England have, the power of White in the air, and Katie Chapman as well, and Rachel Unit getting forward. Couldn't get it down, but nobody was there. She just outjumped everybody, all her markers, didn't get much direction on it. But that is a threat that England have, as Sue Smith said before the game. It's great going forward at set pieces. Faye White leads at the back as well.
Strong challenge from Farrell Williams once more, and a good ball. Almost picked out the run of Amanda Barr. She's flagged offside. Bertoldova takes the free kick. Williams wins the free kick. Goes the other way. Oh no, in fact it's awarded to the Czech Republic. Shake of the head from Farrell Williams. Initial reaction suggested that was England's ball.
And as most of the Czech Republic team thought so as well, as they all started to retreat into their own half.
Skazna again takes the set piece. Easy one for Rachel Unit. Smerilova. Good shot from Smerilova. Not a bad save from Fletcher.
That was great footwork from Smerilova. She picks the ball up, skips past, lovely little touch. A little bit diving in there from Rachel Unit. Joe Fletcher spilled the shot, luckily. Alex Scott was there. And the number 8, Martinkova, didn't follow it in. But that's a danger sign.
Great piece of play, and the first chance of the game goes to the away side. Another chance perhaps for them to build something here as well. Martinkova. Now Skazna. And a good ball in field, probing ball in field, looking for Penetskova. Faye White intercepted just in time.
Yeah, she's in the right position. She read it and she dealt with it.
Ball behind this time for the goal kick. One of the number of Slavia Prague players in the side, but the lion's share of the Czech Republic side is made up of those from Sparta Prague. The two Prague teams, the coach there indeed of Sparta Prague. The man in charge is Dusan Zovinets. So he picks a number of those who play for his club side for the national side, but you can't blame him because the club side, Sparta Prague, have just finished top of the Czech league, played 18, won 18, scored 103, conceded 6. So they are pretty much the best side in the Czech Republic, you might say.
And as we were saying earlier, if he didn't pick you for the national side, you'd be wondering what you'd done wrong, wouldn't you?
He does pick one or two others from one or two other clubs, literally 2 other clubs actually. Otrokovice are also represented in the squad. And as we mentioned, Slavia Prague, the second place side, are in there as well, as Bar goes in hard. Pinceva gathers.
We've seen a few early balls from the England midfield and defence over the top, and it's nice to see because in some games they've been trying to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, taking too many touches, and Emily Westwood is the first indication of that. When she got the first touch of the match, she tried to move it on with her first movement, and it is catching the Czech defence. And just hope that Amanda Barr doesn't push too far. She's been caught offside already once.
Katie Chapman knocks the ball back to a former Fulham teammate. Mary Phillip, now of Arsenal. Chapman, now of Charlton. Chase from Unit of Everton. Mary Phillip, alongside Faye White, have very much seems to have cemented her place in the England side. Indeed, the back four now does seem to pretty much pick itself. Scott, White and Phillip, and then Unit far side. Decisions perhaps for Hope Powell to be made in front of those 4 and behind those 4.
I think there's been indications of that given all the substitutions over the last few months when Hope's been trying out different systems in the midfield with different players playing in various different positions. The back four has remained pretty solid, and you can see that they're comfortable with playing with each other. It's a good unit, and they've got a lot of confidence in each other, and that's going to be standing them in good stead when it comes to playing Finland and Denmark and Sweden.
Skazna, good control and a good ball, just offside. Lemetska. Early indications, though, that the Czech Republic might give England a pretty good test, the sort of test they need this evening. They only flew into the country yesterday. They didn't train today, this morning. They've just basically come in to play the game, the Czechs. It's the first time they've been together since February. But the lack of preparation doesn't seem to be hindering them at this fairly early stage of the game. That
might be because they play league football with each other every week, but they have made a good start, and that's a good test for England. It's very similar to. Just wait to see what happened there. It's very similar to the Finland game. England should be expected to win this, but it's not going to be that easy.
Here's Handley. First chance for her to really attack the Czech Republic penalty area. Good reactive defensive play from Hofakova. Now the captain, Smerilova, to Skazna. Unit deals with the forward ball. And the header drops for Penitskova. Handley's challenges are judged to be a foul. Match official used to taking control of the big games this evening, Alan Wiley. Well-known figure from Premiership football. Skazna. In deep, header goalwards off the bar and in! Shumletska scores for the Czech Republic. And the visitors have taken a surprise lead.
Well, it is Skazna that everything comes from. She takes all the set pieces, she keeps possession. But really, even then, you think it can't possibly go in. Right to the deep at the far post, and she just looked it perfectly weighed. I don't think she'd be able to do that again. And it's just over Joe Fletcher's despairing hands. I don't know whether it even took a bit of a deflection off Claire White's head. You should have a little look. Well, it's just the trajectory of the ball beating Fletcher there.
Well, as you can see, she has a terrific scoring record at international level, Lemetska. We mentioned her in the build-up to the game. 54 caps are now, well, 55 caps indeed this evening, now 45 goals. So she was one identified as one to watch. Well, England know that. I was interested before the game. A number of occasions we've seen England down the years. It's the one prolific striker for the opposition always seems to score a goal, and that's the case again already this evening. Yeah,
and that it is a problem, really. They haven't been able to deal with those standout players, and that's what they're going to have to deal with, certainly when they play against Denmark with Merete Pedersen, and again with Sweden. And Finland have Laura Kalmari up front, a renowned striker across Europe, plays a football in Nomea in Sweden.
I remember games against France when Pichon, the French star, scored, and games against Germany when Birgit Prinz, the German star, scored. And now another name to add perhaps to that list, that of Lemetska, who's put the Czech Republic in front here in this first ever meeting between the two nations. A wake-up call for England perhaps, a little reminder. It's going to be tough, very tough indeed, to make progress in the European Championships. Williams, wide to Unit. Plenty of England shirts pushed forward. Barr on the edge of the area. And Smiralova fouled by Chapman. Smiralova is one of those Czech players who's got plenty of experience at this level. 55 caps for her. Hope Powell makes the notes, checks the watch. Expect plenty of changes to be made by the England coach, probably round about the half-time mark or thereafter. 6 substitutions allowed, and I think she's planning on making all 6. And I'm sure at some point in the evening we'll get to see one or two of the players who are also vying for starting places against Finland, amongst them, of course, Kelly Smith.
There might be a slap on the wrist for Jodie Handley at half-time. It was a needless free kick to give away on the edge of the box, and they have done that a few times, England. You can see that now. Rachel Young and Jodie Handley have switched back to their more comfortable wings. So we did see Jodie Handley down the left for 5 minutes or so, and she really didn't look comfortable.
And the higher the level, the greater the likelihood of being punished. Set piece that was England's undoing in the game against Scotland, at least for the Julie Fleeting equaliser. Another set piece that they've failed to deal with comfortably in this game. That's led to the first goal for the Czech Republic.
And it was a free kick in the game against Italy, 4-1. They've kept clean sheets apart from 3 set piece incidents over the last 5 or 6 games. It's something that you can actually cut out of your game. A little bit more patience, a bit more communication. And it's better that it happens in a warm-up match like this.
Handley does well. Needs to deliver the cross. It's low. It's cleared away. And goal scorer. Katie Chapman working forwards and then back. Now Unit. Williams to Barr. And Chapman. And now still Williams. Chance to shoot. Oh, good save. Pinseva earning her 50th cap. Pushes it over.
It's a clever little one-man over run there. Farrah Williams, clever footwork, cuts back in. It's a cheeky little lob as well, but Pinseva, it's a second good save she's made. She came out to smother a ball through earlier. But great work by Farrah Williams, because they were finding it hard to find space up front, the forwards. So the run from deep from the midfielder has done it.
Problem for the goalkeeper, not really aware how that happened, because she made the save and seemed okay, having tipped the ball over the top, but suddenly she's in great discomfort. Looks like she's banged her head against a post, but again, I'm not entirely sure how she would have done that. Let's see if we can ascertain what the problem is there. Over the top it goes. She's down on the floor. Seems okay at that point. Still okay. And then suddenly collapses.
Strange. I don't know whether it's almost a bit of whiplash or something when she's landed from making the save. They do seem to be attending to her neck.
That's a real problem, clearly. But even from that second viewing, wasn't entirely sure to either us or perhaps the coach what the cause of the problem was. They have another keeper with them, but she's very much the first choice. Pinseva, the Sparta Prague keeper. Now she has to recover quickly to deal with a corner kick. Handley. Chapman was waiting. It comes for Farrah Williams.
Again, it was the ball into the far post for White. Good clearance from the defender, and Farrah Williams is sniffing around there. And a player of her quality, you expect a better shot from that. At least keep it down, at least keep it on target.
We've had chances at both ends. It's been a very good opening to an entertaining game. One goal in it, and perhaps surprisingly, it's the Czech Republic who've recorded it. Channel perhaps, but rather gets it wrong there.
The Czechs are retreating as soon as the England defence get the ball and start to try and play out. They're retreating quite deep into their own half, into the halfway line. We do need the midfielders to come and show for the ball, otherwise long balls like that are really going to be lost.
Another throw in. Again, it goes the way of the Czech Republic. Caught a glimpse there of Pavlína Skazna. She is perhaps the star player. Plays now for Bayern Munich, but previously played in America for Philadelphia and played in the same side as England's Kelly Smith for a short time. She has a great scoring record and a great pedigree in the family as well. Her father, Zdenek, was formerly coach of Panathinaikos, and her brother plays for Viktoria Zizkov. So that really is a footballing family at all levels. Martin Kova trying to defend for the away side, helped out by Bertoldova. That was Skazna. Bertoldova, and then knocked back to Pinsova. Only a couple of players in the Czech Republic side who could even describe themselves as semi-professionals. Skazna is one, and the other Bayern Munich player, Urban Sova, is the other. That apart, the players all have amateur status in the Czech Republic, where they play their football. And it's a game that is, like it is around the world, continuing to grow, making great strides in recent years. More and more players taking up the game in the Czech Republic. As Yankee goes forward for England. And now Farrell Williams, but rather miscontrols. And a late challenge on Smiralova, the captain, in trying to bring the ball under control. And another break in play.
That wasn't so bad, just a bump. It's all this conditioning and strength work the England players are doing. We saw a player bounce off Rachel Unit a few minutes ago.
Chance for a bit of a breather by the look of it, maybe, but maybe we've been unfair.
Well, that is going to be a problem for the Czech team. The amount of fitness work that the England team have been doing, that is going to tell later on in the game.
Well, adding a few more seconds to the end of the first period. This is now, and on Saturday at 2 p.m. on Sky Sports 1, it's the highlights at the end of the Scottish season. Celtic versus Dundee United, the Scottish Cup final. And then also on Saturday, this time at 7:30 p.m, again on Sky Sports 1, it's the first game of England's tour of the US against the host nation, the USA. Smiralova is fit and able to continue. Still not entirely feeling fully fit, Smiralova, but just get the signal to come on now. Now Handley knocks the ball off to the oncoming Alex Scott. Deep cross from Scott. This is a tester. Pinsova! Oh, Yankee almost got on that one. Poor punch from the goalkeeper was almost very costly. Westwood. All the Czech players now back in their own half as England begin to enjoy longer periods of possession. White to Barr. Sova was on her back. Now Scott pushed up well again and gets a free kick.
It's a much better spell of quality from England. Fantastic switch of play from Farrell Williams to Handley. Knocked it back to Scott. And a great cross in. And the Czechs now almost defending in two lines of five. And England pushing them back.
Pinsova marshalling her defenders, all lined up on the edge of the penalty area. Well, Muchova in front of the free kick taker. Smiralova it is who gets the ball first. And then Muchova attempting to bring it down. Skazna comes to help her out as well. Over. Long ball from Mary Phillip. White was waiting. Williams rather was waiting. Gets the ball now. Chapman, and Scott has made the run. Skazna's going through an awful lot of work for the Czech Republic. Chapman almost manages to find Yankee, who's a moment only too late. Pinsova, who's performed pretty well so far, made a couple of good saves. Gets the ball first. A long kick forward. Dealt with by Phillip. And it's cover. You see Martin Kova on that far side. Beautiful tackle, wins the ball back. Unit then over the top, and Bar is played onside by Hilova in the middle. Well, that was the appearance at least. And then the whistle goes.
I think you're right. I do think that Hilova played her on. Fairly late decision from the referee's assistant as well. But again, it was that ball over the top that's catching the flat Czech defence.
And just having to make sure they don't get caught flat as the Czechs try the same tactic. Not a ball that will please the England coach, perhaps. Hope Powell, pretty aimless, and concedes possession, Alex Scott. I think you can see what the coach thinks of it way too easily. Just create a realistic scenario this for England now, because they have a side that has a lead, and it won't be necessarily entirely enthusiastic about building on the lead, merely protecting the lead. And that's the sort of football they're likely to encounter perhaps in the European Championships. Yeah,
tournament football is very different from other football. It's about getting the result. Obviously you want to win games in any game, but ideally they wouldn't be 1-0 down, but it is a good test, and that's what Hope Powell wants. Her team have shown that they've got the perseverance, and she's definitely got players on the bench who have the speed and skill to unlock a team like Czechs or Finland. But the balls forward aimlessly are really not helping at all, and that's something that's got to be fixed.
And when the Czech Republic move forward as they are doing now, they look good.
But this is a sign sometimes of some of the inexperience in the England side, that some of them are very young. They've definitely got the talent and the ability. Sometimes it's the panic, or the trying too hard, trying to force things a little bit too much. And I'm sure that's what Hope will be trying to tell them to do, to convey that message, to play the way that they know and keep the ball. That's better.
Alex Scott trying to do the right thing there, and Barr had made the run on the diagonal. Just couldn't quite pick her out with the pass.
Yeah, just a matter of timing the run. A little bit too much weight on the pass, but their idea is much better. It's just the quality that needs to be improved.
Pintua has relinquished goal-kicking duties now. And pass that on to Bertoldova.
It's interesting, really, because she's taken a few and she's got a decent length of kick on, so...
Maybe that's to do with the injury that she picked up when she required the treatment for what looked like some sort of problem with her neck. Martin Kova's ball intercepted by Rachel Yankee. Again, if you look at the Czech side, they're all back in their own half, behind the ball. Quite deep inside their own half, as Jen O'Neill pointed out a moment ago as well. Making it difficult for England, making England work hard to just try and find an opening. Unit down the line for Yankee. Chance for her to display her skills. Does well. Handley, beyond Handley. Alex Scott comes up to support. She gets the ball in. Pintua waits and gathers.
She's looking to get a corner there. She went to the byline, put the ball in, but that's the second time you've seen Yankee's skills and pace down the left wing. And she's delivered each time. The crosses haven't been brilliant, but they haven't been too bad. They've been fairly in the danger area. She's just put a little bit too much on that one. But a good switch of play, and that's how they can tease an opening out of the Czech team, as they sit very, very deep. If they can switch the ball, they've just got to be patient and look for that chance to get behind them or get down one of the wings.
There's defensive work for Rachel Unit to do. Allows the ball to run out. The local girl, born in Walsall, and has a huge number of family and friends here this evening. Coach loads of the team unit, you might say, have come along to support her in this fixture.
And I got delayed outside behind them all as they were picking up the tickets. I was trying to get my pass.
So the units have certainly swelled the gates, somewhere beyond probably the 6,000 mark this evening. We have a number of locally based players in this England lineup. Birmingham City well represented. Wolves, of course, in the form of Emily Westwood, the only non-Premier League player in the England side. Rachel Unit plays for Everton, but from this part of the world. Free kick, which Lova will take. Williams got to head to it. Faye White's quickest to react. Now Yankee, and Faye White's continue to run forward. Now Amanda Barr. Just lost that little bit of impetus she had in trying to control the ball. Alex Scott keeps it in as well.
Good example of Faye White there, leading by example, being positive, getting the challenge in, getting the head in and getting forward.
Rachel Unit was lurking there on the outside of Martin Coburn and ended up delivering the cross as well. Pinsova once more performs impressively to cut out the danger. Pinsova actually played in the first ever game that the Czech Republic women's side had against Slovakia after the split with Slovakia. A game that the Czech Republic won by 6 goals to 0, and 3 of the side this evening all took part in that. That's to highlight the experience that the Czech Republic can call on. Much like England, a mixture of those who've earned a number of caps and some of those who are beginning to establish themselves at senior international level. Williams has spotted Yankee all alone. Can she capitalise? Still holding on to possession, perhaps requires support now. Or maybe not. Still going, incredible. And now the cross, and again the keeper's there. And this time needs the help of Urban Silva to hack the ball behind and perhaps prevent a goal.
Well, I was just about to say about Williams needs to get hold of the ball. She played a great ball out wide to Yankee, and it becomes the Yankee show. Quite did 2 of them. The persistence pays off. And Pinsova gets there, but there's a bit of confusion with the defender, and thankfully for them it goes over the bar in the end. But that's a clever ball in. It's just tested the goalkeeper.
Handley down by Unit, cleared away from in front of the keeper. Scott and Martin Kova. Skazna. Oh, now is suddenly a chance for a break. Slip in the middle by Unit. England players get back quickly and to good effect. Penitskova to the goal scorer, Lemetska. Now Smiralova to Halova. Not a great ball ultimately, and the whole thing breaks down rather from what looked like a worrying situation for England.
Yeah, there was a second there when Penitskova picked the ball up, but they managed to get back quickly. And you can see from Hope Howell's expression, she's not particularly impressed with what's going on out there. They're showing flashes that they can really test the Czech defence, but then we see them lose the ball. 4 of them back though, and not enough support from the Czech players, maybe feeling a little bit tired towards the end of the first half to get up there and support Penitskova. She should have had head down and gone for goal.
Messages being relayed, I think, to assistant Brent Hills there, who's sitting up somewhere in the stand. Conflict between coach and assistant. Best view of the game. Lemetska lurks again for the Czech Republic and applauds the pass. Best view in this ground is surely almost from where we're positioned, right on the halfway line in the gantry. To get the overview. interception for Martin Koba. And Smeralova. England have been working towards the European Championships for the last couple of years. An awful lot of hard work has been put in. A number of players like Alex Scott have emerged in that time to claim their place potentially when the main event comes around. Having put all that hard work in, all that dedication, all those hours, perhaps the nation expects a good performance from England. The best previously, 1995, with a European Championship semi-final berth, and realistically, England would hope to go one better than that. They would very much hope to get to the final. It's a tall order, but they are the home nation. Germany, the side that you would put down as the one that everybody has to beat. Current world champions. The Swedes are a good side, Norway are a good side, even despite defeat against England in that last warm-up match. And France are another nation who've emerged in the last few years to become strong in the European game in particular. So it's a big test ahead for England. The Czech Republic come under the heading of perhaps one of the lesser nations, despite finishing second in their qualifying group for the championships behind the Germans. They did lose in Scotland, and they were also heavily beaten in the playoffs by Italy, 5-1 the final aggregate score, although they only lost the first game in Italy by 2-1, and in that game Skazna received her second yellow card. The semi-professional former player in America. Urban Sober, the other semi-professional, was sent off as Westwood tries a look.
I think the 2-1 score in Italy. Did you see the shot again? It's a good effort from Emily Westwood. It's good to see her having a shot. She's growing in confidence around the edge of the box. Sometimes we've seen her a little bit on edge, a little bit. She freezes almost when she gets a chance to score, but that's a much better sign, and it wasn't a bad effort. Just saying that 2-1 in Italy is indicative really of the way they play. They sit very deep, and playing away from home is almost best for them. We got Skazna's speed.
Still going there, Skazna, and put real pressure on Fletcher. She's worked incredibly hard. I spoke to her in the build-up to the game. She said she's carrying an injury and is very tired, Skazna, at the end of a long season with Bayern Munich, but she's not showing it in this game. Well, she's looking forward to a holiday immediately after this one. She's still, even in these final few minutes of her season, full of running, and it's causing England problems. A smile, but I'm sure she's already composing in her mind thoughts to be relayed to the players in the half-time interval, which is drawing ever closer. And Lee caught late, England get the free kick. Last chance perhaps for England to throw a ball forward. Yankee. And England do have a last opportunity from a corner kick. Final few seconds of this first period. It's a side that doesn't give up, as the Scots will testify. They thought they'd done enough to earn an historic draw in the game at Deepdale before a late goal deep into added time won the game for England. So even the final few seconds of this first half, they'll be pushing, looking for an equaliser. And it comes from Handley. to go behind for yet another corner kick. May just be time to get this ball in if they hurry, particularly now that Urban Sova needs some treatment. So more time to be added on right at the end of this first period. A couple of minutes as well already decreed. Straight arm from Katie Chapman by the looks of it.
I think was it Rachel Unit, I think, arm in the back of the neck. Interesting variation of the ball in though, going for the front post this time. That's 3 different corners we've seen from England. Maybe this will go deep again.
Keeper punches well. It's good distance on the ball. Alex Scott in. Oh, Pinsova had come to get that one. It's come from Amanda Barr. Oh, the goal for a moment was unguarded.
That was a rare error from the goalkeeper there. Maybe she did give the shout, but a defender didn't hear it and just decided to deal with it. But she's had a great first half, Pinsova. Looked very, very solid. But they need to test her a little bit more in the second half.
England came up against Gemma Fay of Scotland in the previous game that we saw on this Sky Sports cameras, and she performed admirably in that game. They come up against another number 1 in good form this evening as well. Fay, another Rachel Yankee is fouled, and that will be an England free kick. They really will have to hurry if they're going to get this one into the penalty area before Alan Wiley blows the half-time whistle. In it goes, off the head of Westwood and behind, and it does appear that England will be heading in 1 goal behind at half-time as we pass the 2-minute mark. No reason for panic for Hope Powell just yet. From the confidence point of view, an unbeaten run going into the tournament will surely be judged a plus. And that is it, the last action of the first period. Hope Powell, well, she wants her players perhaps to up the tempo in the second half as she calls them off to offer her thoughts on a first period that's seen Hlometska score a goal for the opposition. An already impressive goal-scoring tally at international level, and she added to it with that header. The Czechs in front. Analysis to come after the break. Thanks very much. So, as promised, Hope Powell has decided to ring the changes at the interval. There's the confirmation. 4 new faces coming on at the break. 2 more substitutions allowed Hope Powell as well under the new regulations, and you would expect that perhaps she will take advantage of that through the course of the next 45 minutes. Let's see what impact it has in terms of England's performance in this second half. And there is Karen Carney. Saw her in the game against Scotland. Started in the game against Norway. On the bench at the start of this one. But the Young Player of the Year picked up her award a couple of weeks ago. Has the chance to show a local audience what she can do in this second half. England aiming to come back from behind and at least level things up, if not go into the European Championships with a win. New players, will there be a new approach? Aluko, early chance, very early chance. Perhaps too early, as it turned out.
Well, we've got the pace of Enio Aluko now up front, spearheading that attack. In the early ball they tried a few times, and she's timed the run perfectly, but she's got to hit that with her left foot. That's got to be a first-time strike. Maybe she was still sitting in the changing rooms.
It would have been some goal had she managed to score from that position with that foot, but it was away wide. And the cup final winner was not on target on that occasion. Carney, very pacey, great prospect for England, 17 years old, youngest player in the squad.
well, all the players who've gone off at half-time, all solid footballers, very experienced, good at what they do, but the second half team has more dynamism about them. As you say, it's that flair and speed on the wing from Carney. We've got Eni Aluko up front, who any quick ball forward, she's going to snap onto it. It's good to see Rachel Brown back. It's going to be good for her to get back into the swing of things. So that's experience for her as well.
Aluko's off again.
And I'm sure that Kelly Smith's performance will speak for herself when she gets on the ball.
Carney. Farrell Williams. And it goes looking for Aluko. Gets ahead to it. Some way short of being England's tallest player, Eni Aluko. Smaralova fouled by Chapman. Alex Scott's header loops back to give Rachel Brown her first touch. Had real problems with injuries this season, Rachel Brown. Would have considered herself probably England's first choice some 6-9 months ago. But having had to miss out on so much of the season with Everton, has now to do a job of reclaiming her #1 position. Chapman's foul this time by Smaralova. Roles reversed. Ball pass from Unit. Now Skazna trying to pick out her strike partner. Like the first half, pacey start to this second period. Still flick from Kelly Smith. Appeals for handball against Katie Chapman. Nothing given. Smaralova though has the ball for the Czech Republic.
It's funny, Karen Carney looks very, very young off the pitch, on the pitch when she gets the ball. You couldn't tell that she was only 17. We want to see her more on the ball now, but it's the Czech Republic.
There is great pace, as Jen's mentioned, in this England team now. Rachel Yankee is trying to display that. Somewhat hopeful ball into the middle. Carney did her best to try and get there, but even she's not quick enough to make anything out of that one. Yankee hadn't made the move. Prospect of a Czech change, it would seem, soon as well. Words of advice from Coach Zovinets. Given away to Kelly Smith, and Kelly Smith dances into the penalty area. Important challenge to stop her in her tracks from Bertoldova.
Well, it's the first time we've seen of Kelly Smith. As soon as she picks that ball up there, she just surges forward. Great little bit of footwork, dances around. There's a good sliding challenge there by Bertoldova. But they're just showing the danger already. She had to make it happen, and she nearly did.
Great to see Kelly Smith back in front of the camera. She made an appearance in the game against Norway, came on as a substitute in that one, and prior to that she had a run out for Arsenal in a crucial game against Charlton, came on for Arsenal, scored a cracking goal to win the match, and also ensured that Arsenal lifted the league title this season. So although she's hardly been able to play this season, she has already made an impact.
She, in fact, nearly knocked the Norwegian goalkeeper Bente Nordby with her first touch in that game when she came on. She's just a player that she's got that edge. She can really find that killer touch, and teams all around the world cannot deal with players who can do that.
Good play from Chapman there. And looking lively at the start of the second half. Carney trying to get the ball back as well to block. And in fact, the throw in to the Czech Republic means the pressure remains on the visitors.
You can already see the experience of Kelly Smith. She's ordering her teammates around, she's directing Katie Chapman, she's pushing on Alex Scott to Skasner.
Well, England have had to cope without Kelly Smith throughout almost the entire season. She's had so many problems with injuries, terrible trouble with injuries. Had she not had those, she would be regarded as one of the best in the world, if not perhaps even, it has been suggested, as the best player in the world. But she has the chance in the European Championships, even perhaps not at 100% fitness levels, to prove how good she is, and she could be crucial to England's hopes. So it will be very interesting to see what sort of impact she can have in this second half. Farrah Williams sold Faye White well short with that pass. Katie Chapman then commits a foul on Penitskova, trying to win the ball back for England. Unit. Chapman shoved in the back this time. Kelly Smith, good turn again. Still going. Farrah Williams is knocked over, but England hold possession. Helen Wiley allows play to continue for a moment. England lose the advantage, so the free kick is awarded. It's a long, long way out if anybody is considering a shot. Rachel Unit perhaps is thinking about that. Farrah Williams, we have seen on Sky Sports score from range from free kicks before now, but not quite this far.
We've seen Rachel Unit at the Community Shield last year as well for Fulham.
Farrah Williams has a go. Oh, not a bad effort. Pintsova pushes it over. And maybe hurts her neck again.
It's the kind of thing that Farrah Williams is good at. It's audacious. It was dipping. Pintsova does very well to push it over, and as we've seen earlier in the first half, she's got a bad neck. That's a great save. She's had a great game, Pintsova, but a great effort by Farrah Williams.
So England way ahead in the corner count, but still they trail. Can they draw themselves level from this opportunity? Yankee delivers. Whistle goes, pushing in the box presumably. And Aluko is involved and is summoned by Alan Wiley. Maybe a final warning for those two. Bertold Over also involved, also admonished. And the corner kick will come in again. Referee keeping a close eye on events in that penalty area as Pintsova can't gather, but Chapman's header goes over. See the headband there that says Harvey, the name of Katie Chapman's little boy. We won't have seen much of Mummy over the last couple of weeks because she's been on England duty. And that's one of the sacrifices that these England players have been prepared to make in terms of doing well for their country. Problems once more for Pintsova. She has been in the wars this evening.
She's got a crack that time. She did. Katie Chapman, I don't know if it's her elbow or her head. Katie Chapman comes in with some force. Mind, she got Katie Chapman with as much as Katie Chapman gave her. She has been in the wars, hasn't she? she's made some great saves, but she's really struggling.
And again, it looks like quite a problem for the goalkeeper. Having had that problem with a neck injury in the first half, that's the last thing she wanted. And you can see there that perhaps the problems from the first half have not entirely gone away anyway, because the replacement goalkeeper is being warmed up for the Czech Republic, and they're ready to have to make a change in goal.
We actually saw the coach Zovanet talking to his goalkeeper just after half-time. If there was a problem with Pinceva, then you would have thought she would have stayed off at half-time. It is just a friendly, and if it's a neck problem, then they don't want to endanger her any further.
So I don't think we're going to see any more of the previously impressive Zuzana Pincova. She goes off to a sporting round of applause from the home crowd. They know she's played well. England knows she's played well. But now it's going to be the replacement, Sporilova, in her place. Just puffs out the cheeks. Only her second cap this evening, so she does not have the experience of Pinceva.
She's got the same kind of pyjamas on, though, hasn't she? But it's indicative of how England have played, really. Pinceva's been in shot a lot. People at home will have seen a lot of her. We've only seen Rachel Brown once, and we only saw Jo Fletcher twice, and once was to pick the ball out of the net. But they really haven't found that killer touch yet. They haven't got that edge. That's what we hope these substitutes that came on at half-time can provide.
Well, one would imagine that England will now attempt to pepper the new keeper just to see whether the fact that she's only ever previously earned one cap means that she's not very good. Skazna is fouled. Ilova. Should be easy for Faye White. The throw-in goes the way of the Czech Republic. As the clock ticks on towards the hour mark. England have had all the possession in this second period and put on all the pressure, but the scoreline still reads 0-1 in favour of the away side. Here's Kelly Smith motioning teammates forward. Rachel Yankee on the run. Great ball to Yankee as well. Kicks the ball past the first defender, can't get past the second.
Great covering from the defender, Bertolda, there. But we can saw Kelly Smith, she signalled the pass. Yankee did well to get onto it, but two defenders got the better of her.
Now perhaps the first chance for England to deliver a difficult ball into the penalty area, to see how the goalkeeper copes. Here's Kelly Smith. It's a looping effort, it's an easy catch. Maybe that will give the new goalkeeper confidence. Decent kick forward. Scott has to chase. Faye White's gone across to help. Skazna beats the two of them to it. Ultimately, it's Karen Carney who's done well in this second period. Hasn't been able to show much in a positive nature going forward, but has worked hard getting back.
Yeah, we've seen a different side of her game. She's looked very, very strong. People might think diminutive winger, looking a bit frail, but she's certainly made herself known to the full-back and the left midfielder.
Good ball from Faye White. Now Aluko could be in, except the flag is up.
I think the bounce was going to get the better of her anyway. But we need to see more of that. She just needs to hang on that last defender. She's got the pace. It's something that any defender hates, somebody who has that kind of pace to deal with.
Check change to be made, second one. Stojkovicova. It's the one player I was hoping wasn't going to come on. The name takes about 5 minutes to pronounce. Stojkovicova is into the action.
She'll be known as number 12 to me for the rest of the game.
And it was Martin Kova who departs. Kailova nods the ball into touch. Luko. Good ball. Can Carney keep it in? Just. Good cross as well. Oh, just behind. Unlucky there.
Great work there from Luko. Spin, put the ball into Carney, showing good pace to get to the byline. Unfortunately, couldn't keep the cross in. But it's not the first time that those two have combined. We've seen them do it against Italy when they both came on, and Karen Carney scored on her debut. They did it again against Scotland. They're very, very dangerous when they work together like that.
I wonder whether Hope Powell's now thinking it's time to chuck on a couple more, or whether she wants another few minutes to look at this combination. Roar goes up from the England supporters, keen to see their side score. Kelly Smith directing operations from the midfield to good effect. Carney, now Farrell Williams. It's the first signs that perhaps the Czech Republic are beginning to tire as England attempt to make their extra fitness tell. Yankee wins the corner kick.
A lot of England's good forward players coming through. Kelly Smith being so composed, it's almost like she's got 2-3 more seconds than everybody else on the pitch. She just spots a pass and picks it out, and that spreading calm through Farrell Williams and the other midfielders as well. This is a good spell. Can they make it pay?
First real test for the goalkeeper, who flaps at the cross. Oh, and Chapman gets it all wrong with a shot. Proper connection, and surely that would have been a goal.
I think she was already planning a celebration, so she swiped at it, took her eye off the ball. Left foot. She really just took her eye off the ball, whether it took a little bit of a difficult bounce. No, it was perfect, just swung at it too quickly.
That's a slice.
We saw that in the first half, Rachel Yankee coming in at the far post. She completely missed the ball as well.
So England are beginning to build up the attempts on goal statistic, much in their favour. On target still only 2, and still key statistic, Czech goal. Kelly Smith trying to do something about that. She's gone out wide, closed down by Helova. That's not going to stop her though. Good turn, flicks the ball in and goes behind for a corner kick. And now we're beginning to see the repertoire of Kelly Smith, tricks, twists and turns.
It's just fantastic pace at the quick turn. Already head up, looking what to do. Forces the corner. And she's not looking like she's lacking in match fitness. She's been involved for the last 3 or 4 minutes, high tempo.
In it goes, heads up, and a goal from Rachel Unit. Rachel Unit scores at a hometown club, and what a great moment that will be for her.
Well, it's all that sustained pressure, that spell. Kelly Smith showing her magic, gets the corner, and it's a hometown girl. She couldn't have wished for anything better, could she? She gets a great connection on it. Nobody marking her, completely on her own, but she's still got the work to do. Heads it down. And the player on the line, Bertatova, can't do anything about it. Great connection, fantastically timed run, great corner from Yankee. And they do deserve to be on level terms, if not ahead, on the balance of play.
And the girl from Walsall has scored in Walsall. And again, problems for the Czechs with injured defenders, but the Unit clan will have celebrated that goal harder than anybody else in the ground, no doubt. Only her second international strike. Helova is the player struggling for the Czechs now. But from this position, it will be interesting to see, but England really should go on and win this game now. Yeah,
they definitely should go on and win it, but obviously saying that is much easier than getting it done. As we said, it's almost a similar test to it will be against Finland. They are a stronger team, England. They have got the quality, but it's a matter of using that quality and getting the goals on the board.
Smith. Caught this time. Another Czech player down. Sova has a problem. Kelly Smith brought down. It's the only way to stop her.
That's evidence of the element of panic that's involved when she does get on the ball. Even with her back to goal, she's a danger. Maybe she should have released it a little bit earlier.
Sova has remained down in a heap ever since a challenge a couple of moments ago.
It looks like a fairly solid, clean challenge. I do think there's an element of, I don't want to be nasty, but play acting. I think they are a little tired. The opportunity to have a breather is welcomed.
Bayern Munich player down, and the coach ready to make another change. Waiting in the wings there is Irina Martinkova. We saw her twin sister depart the action a short time ago, Lucia Martinkova. The two of them made their international debut together, both brought on as substitutes at the same time in a game against the Ukraine a couple of years ago. Maybe she'll have to wait a moment longer. No, the change will be made. So Irina Martinkova comes on to replace Helova.
All these stoppages are very frustrating for England. It just breaks up the tempo of the game. They're in the insurgency. England, they've just got the goal. They want to get on with it and get another one.
And there's Sova, who's now apparently fit enough to return to the action. Carney. Chapman will challenge. Smith. Farrell Williams. Czech. Defenders dropping ever deeper now as Chapman goes on the hunt for England. Katie Chapman able to push much further forward now.
Yeah, definitely. I think also having the creative skills of Smith on there takes a bit of the pressure off Farrell Williams. And hopefully we can see a little bit more of that. She's played a couple of intelligent passes. She's being a lot more patient. She's picking out. Can you see she's looking at what she can see now?
Given away though by Farrell Williams. The Czechs though finding it much more difficult to get up in support of players in possession now as the game goes on, as Kelly Smith tries one. Oh, how about that? That is fantastic. I think Kelly Smith may just have booked her place in the starting lineup for the first game of the European Championships.
Well, sometimes there isn't really anything to say about a player like that. She's come on, she's been head and shoulders above everybody since making an introduction just after the half-time. She's had a look up. It's all of it's meant. It's inch perfect. It's just she's just showing. She was determined as soon as she came on to show what she's about, and it's a peach, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. Skazna trying something spectacular herself. But Kelly Smith, it's not too dramatic to say that if England were to win the European Championships, she has so much to do to make that happen. Knew exactly what she wanted to do. Very similar to the goal that won the league for Arsenal in the game against Charlton.
Yeah, everybody can tell you it's not a fluke. Somebody who's watched her a lot. It's brilliant.
Skazna. Czech Republic trying to respond. And just for a moment there, it was the goal scorer, Mametska, who got in between the defenders.
Well, those two can be dangerous when they link up. And Skazna, although you were saying she told you earlier she was tired, she's the amount of leg work she's gone through has been phenomenal, and the quality as well when she gets it. She's shown that she's played at the highest level in the professional league in the WUSA, but in terms of her impact on a match, she's got a lot of catching up to do on Kelly Smith.
Played with Kelly Smith in the US, same side, and is a big fan of as well. Rachel Yankee, it's a good opportunity. Aluko goes in, Chapman follows up, and it actually hits the back of the prone goalkeeper and goes behind for a corner. And it's all going wrong for the Czech Republic now.
It's a pace of attack from England now that's catching them out. It's a great sweeping ball out left. And she's done that a few times, Rachel Yankee. She's just put it into that area. It's a great save by the keeper. Now I'll use my head.
Great reactive stop. I don't think she knew a great deal about it, though.
I don't think Katie Chapman's going to score this evening, is she?
Well, it's been a tough old night for the Czech Republic's goalkeeping quota. First one has had to depart the scene injured. Second one is not a million miles behind her, it would appear. They don't have a third one. And another opportunity for England. Plenty in there to aim at as Carney puts the ball in. Keeper comes and again flaps rather. But this time defenders help her out. Carney's quick to recover and does well. Karen Carney still going. Goes down, looks to the referee like a seasoned professional. Appeals for the free kick and wins it.
You just see the balance when she's on the ball. And she's got the confidence to run at people. That's what frightens defences as well. Luca's got the pace. Carney just wants to run at you. And Kelly Smith from 35 yards to just place it over the goalkeeper's hand.
Well, there's a number of reasons perhaps for it, but it's been a very impressive second half performance from England. Carney delivers in, and another goal! And Rachel Unit's in there again to claim her second of what has been a fantastic evening. Only one previous international goal for England, and now she's popped up with two in one night in Walsall.
It's a great ball in by Carney though, isn't it? Maybe the keeper's got to come for that, maybe that's in her area. They should play all the games in Walsall and Unit get a hat-trick maybe.
She's still time. Well, it was a toss-up between Faye White and Rachel Unit. Either could have scored it, but Unit is clearly claiming that the goal was hers.
It's a gracious captain who's just happy that her team has scored.
England clearly in a match-winning position now. Question will be, surely, if they can add a couple more to the total already achieved. Katie Chapman departs. Vicky Exley is going to come on.
It's a straight swap, one battling midfielder for another.
Foul by Rachel Yankee. Rare opportunity in the second half. And wasted that opportunity. All England now. Well, there was a slight debate perhaps about which blonde head met the cross first. But Rachel Unit it is who will be claiming her second goal of the evening. Ahead of Faye White, who scored a couple more previously in her England career anyway. But Unit, a little slapdash when it comes to defensive work, and Skazna takes the ball from her and tries a shot herself. Not too far off.
Anything you can do, I'll try. But not quite as good. It's a great effort. No, another left foot strike. Rachel Brown watched that quite comfortably.
And England's final change to be made any moment. Lindsay Johnson of Everton comes on in the centre of defence to replace the captain Faye White. Sixth cap for Lindsay Johnson now. Another one of those players who's emerged only in the last few months really as an England potential. And then in terms of the squad, an England definite.
And although she was on the losing side at the cup final, she had a great game for Everton. It's good to see a northeasterner out there as well.
Says Sunderland's Jen O'Neill. Now here's a chance for Aluko on the edge of the area. First time, great finish. That's a super goal. And England now are rampant. This is just the way they wanted to go into the European Championships, on a roll.
You saw Hope Howell having a sneaky smile and then trying to look very serious about it and keep calm. It's a great finish, isn't it? She's still got it all to do. She's still got to pick the spot. She's so quick onto balls around that area. And the keeper hasn't got a chance. Fantastic first touch, nice and balanced, and just scoops it over the keeper into the corner.
So 4 goals in the space of just 12 minutes for England. That's better than Liverpool, isn't it? Mind you, having said that, and having seen Liverpool's comeback in the Champions League final, England should not relax. Should push on in search of more goals, which is something I'm sure from this position they'll be looking to do. Plenty of time for them to add to the total. Having looked a compact and confident unit for much of the game, the Czechs now beginning to look a little bit of a rabble. And perhaps it's that fitness that's the key to England's second half success. They've been relentless, keep pushing on, working hard, and all the effort that's been put in over the 2 years that the squad's been together will perhaps begin to show at times like these, late on in international matches.
Well, when Hope Howell took over, that's what she isolated as the main problem, losing in the last few minutes. And this is just another indication of all the work that's gone in from the England team and all of the staff that Hope Howell's amassed. And the number of substitutions the Czech Republic have made has been basically because their players are just so tired. They're not tactical.
Here's another one. Matsova will come on, goal scorer for Donetska, departs. 13th cap for Matsova. Actually scored both goals against Scotland in the Czechs' defeat against the Scots in September in a qualifying game. 3-2 the final score. Rachel Yankee after the ball had gone. There's some weary players out there, and now Dusan Zovinets has a concern perhaps to ensure that what is going to be a heavy defeat doesn't turn into a humiliating defeat.
It's something I've noticed over the last few England games. I really can't remember an England player being down, injured, for more than 3 or 4 seconds, other than Emily West, who got a crash on the head in the Scotland game. Even when Katie Chapman broke her hand, she didn't stay down. And that's the determination and the work ethic that Hope's built into a team.
I remember a couple of games that we've seen previously against the Nigerians, who are a very physical, strong side. Some would even say dirty. And England really struggled against them, found it very hard. And I think, again, there were lessons learnt from those particular evenings that England had to toughen up to be successful.
But I was working pitch side in that game and I was scared. I thought somebody was going to come and get me. But yeah, the England players didn't settle in that game at all. And that was just the fear of being whacked from behind within a second of getting the ball.
It's all part of the game. Not an overly physical approach, but England are ready to stand up to it should it occur. It hasn't been the case this evening. Czech Republic have attempted to play the game in a commendable manner. But when you're up against the likes of Birgit Prinz of Germany and Pichon of France, you have to be strong, because they are very strong indeed.
And even somebody like Lundberg, who's only 5'2", 5'3", she just packs a lot of power. It's going to be a great test.
Should be a great tournament. And England will go into it with confidence levels high. Here's Kelly Smith. Listen to the roar when she gets on the ball. Chance here for Carney, perhaps. Oh, straight at the goalkeeper. A little more experience then would surely have produced another goal.
Yeah, it's a great tackle from Unit, and Carney's got to do a bit better in that kind of position.
Smith trying again! Well, the keeper's got wise to it, hasn't she? Don't move off your line.
If it works the first time, why not try it again? And you can see her again, she knows exactly what she's trying to do. Just not measured quite as well. And the keeper's already learned from her earlier lesson.
Well, there's been plenty to enjoy in this last 20 minutes or so. And for the first time, she dropped it. She gets a free kick. Respite.
I think Alan Wiley was always going to blow for that.
To an extent, he may feel a little sorry for her, because it's not been much of an introduction, has it?
Well, she did get a bump from behind, but once she landed.
She actually let go of the ball about 3 seconds afterwards. Czech Republic probably quite keen now to run the clock down, keep things as they are. England still showing that they're after more goals in the final 6 or 7 minutes of this game. Problem here, again, the Czech player suffering after Farrell Williams' challenge. Just caught the standing leg there, perhaps.
I don't think that. I think it's the grit on around the side of the pitch that's caused the problem on the landing. Cracked a knee.
Could be a friction burn there, maybe. Chance that the Czechs have had for quite a while to keep the ball for any concerted length of time somewhere close to that England penalty area. Because Rachel Brown might have had a quieter half in her career than this one thus far. Maybe there'll be something for her to do here. Well, it's not a bad shot, and it's a scrambled save, but Rachel Brown does do well when called into action. Belatedly, it may be. She stayed alert, she kept the ball out.
Watched the ball all the way across. Wasn't a hard enough strike, really. And Rachel Brown will be pleased to make a save. That's pretty much the first thing she's had to do. We haven't seen much of her at all.
Williams gives the ball away. Aiming to stay switched on right the way through to the end. Kelly Smith charges after that again. Really is trying to make up for lost time, I'm sure, this season. And once more, she's on the run. Defenders bouncing off her at the moment. Wins the throw in intelligently. Knocks the ball against the legs of the Czech player. Unit's cross. Keeper comes and does well, actually. That's in bravely. Another player down. We could be going on a while at this rate. So more treatment to be administered. In the meantime, Kelly, Jen has been perusing events for us and just having a little thought about who might be the player of the game, who would be the potential contenders. Jen?
I think you gave away the punchline there, didn't you, at the start? Well, Rachel Unit obviously getting 2 goals on a home territory. That's hat off to that. But I think really from the second half performance, completely transformed the game, scored a brilliant goal, made everything happen. Kelly Smith, she's really proved, you know, she's trying to make a point that she's ready for the tournament that's ahead of us. Looks up, and it's inch perfect. A wonderful goal.
Wonderful goal, great performance. Player of the match, Kelly Smith. Well done to her. Rachel Unit's probably already wondering when she gets to pick up the bottle. 2 goals.
As a defender, she should be overjoyed with 2 goals anyway. She shouldn't get too greedy.
Kelly Smith trying to power through players.
And there should be a mention for the girl on the ball now as well, because Skazna has been the standout player for the Czechs.
That wasn't one of her better moments, though.
Yeah, thanks for that.
We tend to be able to spot those players who have played in North America, including, of course, Rachel Brown, who's had a spell in football in that country. So whilst the professional setup there collapsed, it left a lot of talented European players rather high and dry. But the benefit perhaps has been to the European game because they've had to come back and play their football here, as has Kelly Smith with Arsenal. But instilled in them good habits, trained full-time, working with good coaches. Now, last chance perhaps for England. Yankee, good turn. Switched over to the opposite wing. Alex Scott charges in to help her out, and still going Alex Scott. Thought about a goal at the goalkeeper, I think, then, but she's taken enough of a battering already in the time that she's been on.
But they're still full of zip, aren't they? Even in the last few minutes of the game, they've had a few breathers, mind, but the Czech girls have had a bit of a lie down or taken a knock. But that vim and that energy that Karen Carney and Eniola Luka have provided to the front, maybe it's because the back 4 have changed and they're a little bit more tired, but they're picking up a lot more pieces and putting the defence under pressure.
So a game that was very much in the balance at half-time, with the Czechs leading, has swung dramatically in favour of the home nation. 4 goals in 12 second-half minutes that have England on course for a resounding victory. Young crowd who will have enjoyed this game, and no doubt many of them will be thinking about heading up the M6 motorway, which is just a couple of 100 yards away from the Bescot Stadium, to support England in the games in the Northwest, the European Championships. First game at the City of Manchester Stadium, and the final of that competition, that tournament, will be held at Ewood Park. Kelly Smith, Williams. Still in the thick of things, still prepared to make the challenge, even the foul challenge in these last few seconds, plus some added time. There'll be at least a couple of minutes of that, given the number of stoppages we've had. Crowd reacts with a roar of approval to Jen O'Neill's decision on the Player of the Match award.
I was already down the stairs just in case. I'll find the unit clan outside and they'll beat me up.
Team unit will be waiting. Why didn't our girl get it?
I'll have a word with Terrier Dad, he won't mind.
Yankee holds off the challenge. Loads of space and time for Farrell Williams. What can she do with that? Now Kelly Smith plays the ball out wide to Aluko. And Aluko still, and knocks a little ball in for Alex Scott. Oh, what a goal that would have been as well. She knows what a great opportunity it was.
Well, as a fullback, she's not going to get in a better position than that to score. Really, really good play by Aluko. Unselfish as well. She could have gone through. And she's done the right thing. Scott, you get told, they go for the far post. She's done that, but it's very, very close.
(15-6) now in terms of the attempts on goal. And the attempts on target has grown as well, dramatically from the last time we saw that particular statistic come up. It was all square two apiece at that point, but England really have cracked on in the latter stages of this second half. The goals have been flying in from all angles. Lots of chances as well. Still time perhaps for one more as Yankee goes down and is fouled.
I think Rachel's still thankful she's got her shirt on because there was a big tug on it.
Chance for England to throw another ball into that Czech penalty area. Perhaps the last chance for the crowd to celebrate something.
If Unit gets a hat-trick, I'm done, aren't I?
Potential hat-trick, of course, yes. In it goes, cleared away at least initially. Farrell Williams tries a look. They're all trying their luck at this stage. That one's over, though. So, a happy night for hope, one would imagine.
I guess that's exactly what she asked for, really. It was a test early on. But her side proved to the crowd, to themselves, that their quality and their fitness and their belief can power through in the end.
The final few seconds of England's warm-up matches. It's been a 2-year process. It's going to finish with a flourish. Rachel Unit to Exley. And that's the last kick of the game. And a big roar from the England crowd, and applause from Hope Powell. Delighted with her side's second half efforts, no doubt. Rachel Unit, the girl from Walsall, got a couple of goals. Kelly Smith scored an absolute cracker from long range. And Eniola Aluko with a goal that added to what has turned into a very, very good night for England. The warm-up is over. The real test now awaits. The European Championship start. England against Finland, June the 5th. But surely this set of players couldn't go into that game in better heart than they are now. Terrific night for England. Now they have to hope that European Championship success lies ahead. Final score here at the Bescot Stadium in the final warm-up game. It's finished England 4, the Czech Republic 1.